Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. My name is Tanay All, and I'm an anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry veterans to come together to share their knowledge, ideas, thoughts, and best practices with one another, as well as with upcoming industry leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learning of all our industry stalwarts. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leader interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone as they help us to identify, nurture, and work on trade secrets that have already proven a success formula for so many. And this is what we aim for with these sessions by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge sharing community. We have one such industry titan on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Mr. Nikhil J. Isaac. We welcome you on the show, sir.
Thank you, Tane, for inviting me.
He is a luminary in the realm of real estate marketing, armed with nearly 1.5 decades of prolific experience within top tier real estate development and consultancy spheres. With an unwavering gaze fixed on becoming a transformative chief marketing officer, he fuses corporate strategy, marketing finesse, and investment prowess to redefine industry norms. In his past tenure as general manager of marketing at Shriram Properties Private Limited, he has demonstrated astute leadership in steering regional teams to unprecedented success. In this capacity, he had made some mammoth contributions, namely optimizing launch strategy after conducting in-depth competitor analysis and analyzing market trends, along with driving cross-functional synergies and geographic efficiency for optimal project success. So, Mr. Isaac, to begin with, could you elaborate on your role as General Manager of Marketing at Shriram Properties Private Limited, which was one of the things you were doing in the past, and the strategies you had implemented to achieve unprecedented success with the regional teams there?
Sure, sure. In fact, I'll probably start with my journey
Yeah.
all along. In fact, I have a technical background. I'm a civil engineer, but of course, I've moved to the business side of real estate because I've always wanted to be on the transformation or the innovative part of real estate. So I try to match both the technical and the business parts of the business, as it were. And I've been part of, as you said, I've been part of a number of real estate firms, both in India and abroad, Shriram being one of them. The point is when you try to bring in transformation, one of the best change levers to do that is to mix strategy and marketing, and which I've consistently done in number of firms and in number of projects. And the projects you're talking about were, in fact, projects which were stuck, and the whole company had stuck. And so, when you try to bring about change and the turnaround, how do you do it best? And the change lever which I use most often is try to blend in strategy, finance, and marketing to bring about a new product to help transform the whole company. Thank you.
So, could you share a specific example of strategic decisions you made that have had a significant impact on a project success?
Sure, sure, sure. I've been involved in many such projects. A few years ago, I was involved with I was part of a company called Shriram Properties, and I joined when the company had completely ground to a halt. They had a very innovative product, a very interesting product. They were selling one of the largest villas in Bangalore. They were completely uber luxury, even beyond luxury. But the whole project had ground to a stall. And so I joined in. I was wondering, what do I do with this firm? We were involved at multiple levels to rebrand the whole company, rebrand the product, look at the one USP which a customer would be looking at. Because at the end of the day, we often tend to be very product focused. Even in business schools, people talk of the 4 Ps and stuff like that. But the only problem with that is you're always looking at it from a company point of view. You need to change that and be more customer centric and understand what the customer wants. Even in marketing, sales, in fact, is a very small sub function of marketing. You need to understand what is the product and what does the customer really want. So there, in fact, we completely changed it over. And prior to me joining, they looked at this large villas as a white elephant, as it were. But we kind of looked at it differently and thought that, hey, these guys are selling the largest villas in Bangalore. Why don't we, use that as the best USP? And we started selling the large spaces within the property, and we started looking at it in a completely different light. So we were able to rebrand the whole product, and there was a very good response to it. A number of customers from India and abroad were very open to the product, the rebranded product and the rebranded company. Because end of the day, people want customized solutions. Even if you're the best of the best in terms of a company, you need to you must remember that you are selling one to a customer. He doesn't care about who you were in the past. He doesn't care if you had so many awards. He cares about what is it you are giving him. So you need to offer customized solutions one-on-one. It's a B2B, it's a B2C business. You shouldn't forget that end of the day, you are dealing with one customer at a time. And the minute you don't forget that, I think customers will be very warm in receiving your products.
So, in your role as marketing head at Hebron International Private Limited, how did you manage swift turnarounds and embed a strong CSR narrative into marketing strategies?
Sure. So I used to head marketing and strategy in these firms. So traditionally, when in the old days, people used to think of marketing as this small sales sub function, taking in generating leads and things like that. But actually, marketing is one of the most broadest business streams possible, where you need to blend marketing, strategy, and finance all together to get the right product mix, as it were. In addition to that, one of the key tools I used to use within marketing was use of CSR. Of course, this product you're talking about was a couple of years ago when CSR was the sort of was a newbie itself. Today, we have evolved from CSR to ESG, but I'll come to that in a bit. So the idea is that you're not just trying to take a product and package it and just dump it on some random customer. You're trying to look at society as a whole. You're trying to bring in a product, you're trying to bring in a service, and help society improve, as it were. So in this particular thing, since I'm in real estate, you're trying to see what that you're not only just trying to say dispose the product, as it were, which is the common lingo, which is a very wrong lingo to use. Rather, you're trying to see how can this product be placed in such a way that I'm not only benefiting my customers, I'm also benefiting the community where it's placed in. So it's a very strange thing to do, that you're trying to mix CSR and marketing. But at the end of the day, the when you're trying to look at it in a very holistic way in that nature, even the neighborhood starts pitching for your product. So people in the neighborhood actually look at you as a positive influence in their locality, rather than these guys who came and just disrupted and broke the roads and created a lot of mess in the whole place. So you're looking at it in a very, very holistic way, and it actually reaps a lot of benefits in the long run.
So, given your CSR roles, your ESG learnings are obvious. However, our viewers would like to know more as to how and when did you develop an interest in ESG?
Sure, sure. So let me again rewind a bit.
Yeah.
So I spoke a bit about CSR. So in fact, very recently, in fact, I took a sabbatical and I went back to school, as it were. So I went back. I did an executive MBA from Switzerland, IMD Switzerland. I decided that I felt I needed just to go back to help me in my leadership growth. So in IMD, you had all the usual subjects which a business school offers, like marketing, strategy, finance, and all these things. But there was this one program called ESG and impact investing, and that was such a interesting program, if you ask me. Why was it so interesting? Because most of the time when you look at business, or you look at society, they look at business as these guys who are total capitalists, who are there just suck blood and benefit, whereas the rest of society has to just bear with these guys, and probably you'll have some NGOs who help them out to make society a nicer place or something. So now ESG and impact investing was that whole bridge, and that's why I found it so interesting. Where you're trying to have business on one side, and you have society's needs, and you're trying to impact that. So under ESG, you had this one stream which is called impact investing, and I thought that was so wonderful. So in the past, you had these sort of capitalists who were there to make money for themselves and their shareholders. And on the other hand, you had the CSR and philanthropists, these guys in jubbas who will go and try to save the world. Clearly, there's a problem because the society's needs are too large to be handled by just a handful of NGOs. And there are also within the NGOs, you had a couple of guys who were sort of the black sheep who just take money and not do anything about it. So the bridge was actually this thing called impact investing. What is impact investing? Is basically you have these people who are capitalists, who have businesses, who are this primary role is to make money, and which is rightly so. But they also try to see if they can take up projects which will impact society. So they try to mix both of them. There are a lot of terminologies or terms with blended finance and all these things. But at the end of the day, they are trying to come to the middle, and they find projects which benefit them and they benefit society, and that's the sort of center point. And there's so much of the scope or the horizon is completely endless there, that you completely take on a lot of projects which earlier were unsustainable. But then the thing is, so the business has money. End of the day, they have money, and they're willing to deploy it where they can see financial returns from themselves. So it's actually CSR with the ROI, as it were. So it makes sense for both society. They get benefited. The businessmen or the business world also gets. They also get benefit with. They see ROI to any of the investments given. So it's a win-win for both sides.
So, as an ESG expert, what values do you bring to the table?
First of all, I'm definitely not an ESG expert. I'm still a student of ESG. I do definitely see a great benefit to ESG to society. I myself am learning about it in whatever shape and form I would like to, which is available to me. And being part of the journey with you all is also one of them. That's why I'm part of this journey with you. But I can share some of the learnings I've had in this journey.
Yes.
With you all. One of them is this whole. I'm talking about in being a little bit India specific, where this whole journey of being of independent directors has come about. The point is they're trying to bring in a lot of external experts to help businesses grow sustainably. That's one. The other thing is this whole point of sustainability. Earlier, you had say businesses who are the sharks, and then these guys who are again these NGOs. Now we're trying to blend it in. The point is, why do we want to blend it in? The thing is, no more. I mean, there's this. We have almost reached this point of no return. We have to change today. I mean, there's no future where our children and grandchildren will take care of society and climate and environment. No more. We have to say today, what can we do today which will help businesses grow sustainability. And that's what this whole thing is about. All businesses, including the business domain I'm part of, is very, very actively looking at. Also, it has also come about because of investor pressure. Maybe good, maybe bad, but I've seen so much of positive change thanks to that. I can give a number of examples if required, but these are the sort of societal changes which are pushing business to be more sustainable. I don't think any business today worth its salt can say that I'm just here to make money. I don't care about society. I don't care about the environment. That's all for somebody else. No. I mean, you'll probably go out of business if you make such statements anymore.
So, what are some of the most remarkable changes you have seen in your field with respect to changes in technology? And what changes do you expect to see in the future with the advent of all these new technologies like AI, ML, IoT, blockchain, Web 3.0, etc.?
Sure. So just adding to my earlier comment, let me give some direct examples instead of talking in the air. So a few years ago, there was a seminal note or letter to the shareholders by Larry Fink, you must be aware of. And he said, I mean, he handles, of course, one of the world's largest funds. And he said, no more, literally told the shareholders, no more. We need to be investing only in businesses which are green and sustainable. And the whole world kind of followed his lead. And you can see it in India itself. If you look at the commercial real estate in India, commercial offices, they have completely gone towards building green buildings.
Yeah.
Why did they do that? Not out of their generosity of heart or something, for two reasons. One is the investors who backed them up told them, we are only going to invest in green buildings. And secondly, most of their clientele who are MNC clientele, they have also decided that they will only sort of be in buildings in which are green. Today, as a real estate developer, you're not going to go and build unsustainable buildings, even if it's cheaper. No way. Then the third lever, which is not at all a small change lever, is Gen Z. They have decided today that they are only going to work for companies which are impactful companies. They are not interested in companies just because they make a lot of money. Making money is very important in business, but they also want to be part of companies which are creating a change. So today, Gen Z and these investors have made the business turn around, and they are there, right there on the forefront, making companies. This is completely different from the past, where businesses were the boss, as it were, and employees would come in and put their hands, fold their hands, and listen to whatever the bosses said. Today, the guys at the bottom, which are generally the Gen Z, would be fairly young. The youngsters or the people at the bottom, they are making their boards of directors change, and that's so wonderful. Now, talking about technology, which you talked about, I mean, AI is, of course, leading the way. Another big technology driver is a thing called blockchain. Blockchain is also helping in a big way. For people to understand what blockchain is, it's part of the crypto revolution. So blockchain is, in fact, to put it very simply, is like something like a very large database. Think of Excel, but a very large database. But the only thing about blockchain, unlike say Excel sheet, is you can't change it. It's immutable. So where is it all being used in practically every industry? So let's say in the real estate or supply chain industry, every material which is used, it goes onto the blockchain. So people are able to track the impact of using the right materials or the wrong materials through the life cycle of the building. In the building industry, you have a thing called life cycle assessment. So from the time the building is sort of thought about to commission to even decommission, and because you can in fact track the whole thing. And because today people are talking of decarbonization. So how do you do that? One is, of course, in real estate, when the whole, there's so much of impact of air conditioners and all that. So you can track that on a live case, on a real time basis. Also, there's so much embedded carbon in all the materials. So there's so much of incentive to reuse materials or reconfigure, or there's the thing of cradle to grave. So you try and reuse all these materials. So all sorts of innovations are being used. Of course, it's still very much in the sort of big early days, as it of all these things. A lot of things are yet to be seen, but a lot of, they're so exciting. There's so many positive things happening in businesses.
So we're building a community here of industry magnates. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts. What are your thoughts about this initiative taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole World Development Corporation team?
No, it's very exciting. It's very exciting. That's why I'm trying to be part of the journey, because there are two initiatives being led. One is this whole ESG initiative of educating more people. Before we create the change, we all need to be educated. What is it that we need to be doing in terms of green building, sustainability, ESG? What is E, S, and G? And how
Yeah.
does it impact each of us? So that's an educational journey which we all on. And the second journey which they are part of, which they're creating change, is helping more and more independent directors come and be part of the journey. That's also creating change, where you have these people are primarily helping what are they primarily doing? They're trying to help businesses, one, adopt the best governance practices, and others grow sustainability. So it's not just these family businesses there just to make money. You're there almost representing society and helping create change through all this. And of course, ESG is the change lever which you all are trying to use it.
Great, sir. It was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will truly inspire future leaders. Thank you so much for joining us today and wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute unquestionably has expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Tani, again for inviting me to be part of the show.
Our pleasure, sir. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.